Hey everyone, I'm Lacey Loves Horror, and today I'm covering Lacey Games. This is a web series created by Ghost Tundra that started uploading back in 2022. Earlier this month, it was announced that Lacey's Flash Games was getting an actual playable demo on stream on February 28th, and so we're going to be covering the episodes that the game is going to be based off of. There are a total of 4 full-length episodes, each covering a different Flash game and the increasingly disturbing darkness found while playing. Online Flash games were incredibly poorly made internet games using Flash Media Player. This series is definitely not for the faint of heart, and if you have really any triggers whatsoever, I don't recommend you watching this video. I'm also going to issue a huge spoiler warning for the entire series, as I'll be covering everything fairly in-depth. Before we get started, I'm going to recommend you go to Ghost Tundra's YouTube page. They have a playlist made with all the official episodes and a few behind-the-scenes episodes. I recommend you watch all of these, as the original creator definitely deserves the views and credit for the work they've done and put into this series to make it as awesome as it is. The link for everything is below in the description. Once you've watched them all, you can head back here and we'll go ahead and get started. The first video was uploaded October 10th, 2022, called Lacey's Wardrobe, Lost 2006 Flash Game. As you can see, after pushing play, the colors are very bright and very pink. You can tell by the use of the Comic Sans font, as well as all of the grammar and spelling issues, that this is incredibly reminiscent of a mid-2000s Flash game. The instructions for the game say,
Lacey has a busy day today. In the morning, she will attend a picnic in the park. Then, in the afternoon, she must go shopping. Finally, she will have a date tonight with the cutest guy. Phew! But there is only one problem. She has no idea what to wear. Can you help Lacey put together the cutest outfits for each situation?
Wait, you guys saw that, right? Weird. The only words left on the screen say, help Lacey. That's kind of an ominous glitch. Anyways, we're then taken to Lacey's adorably pink bedroom, where we are picking her first outfit, which, if you remember, is for a picnic in the park. After choosing the perfect outfit, we head to the park. As you can see, the picnic itself is just lovely. We have some flags up in the tree. We have this huge spread of food, and there is no odd, anomalous amalgamation of this creepy face looking through the bushes at Lacey. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this picture whatsoever. After this, we're taken back to Lacey's bedroom, where you can tell from the lighting change it's probably a little bit later in the day, and her next destination, if you remember, is the shopping mall. So we're picking out the perfect outfit for her to go shopping in. As we're doing this, the phone rings.
Lacey, did you see my stacks, Lacey? I can't wait to meet up, Lacey. I want to have a good time tonight with you, Lacey. Tonight. Bye-bye.
It just hits different when your name is Lacey. We're back to being able to select our outfit, and now we have a wonderful visitor peeking through the window. The lighting has actually grown a bit darker, and there's some lovely heavy breathing that we can hear as well. It's at this point that Lacey starts pleading for help. She seems to be fearing for her life. You can tell from the lighting change once again that it's a little later in the day, and the music also has a very ominous tone at this point. It's a completely different vibe than we had when we first started the game. While we're selecting Lacey's last outfit, we start to hear heavy knocking, and then one of the wardrobe options says, "There is a gift on your doorstep."
Lacey, I'm here. I'm here. Did you get my gift, Lacey? Did you like it? I'm here. Open the door, my darling. Open the door. Open the fucking door!
And then the player is back to picking outfits for Lacey. There's no other option but to proceed. Lacey starts to plead with the player not to make her go outside. The only way out is through. The next screen shows Lacey lit by streetlight saying, "What have you done?" The next thing shown is some terribly disturbing images and audio clips of Lacey's stalker, Lacey's dismembering Lacey's body and eating it. The juxtaposition of the twinkling noise we've been hearing the whole game, paired with a very smug-looking stalker, is very jarring. And we see the stalker says, "I ate her remains so that we will be together forever. I love you, Lacey." After a pause, we're taken back to the opening screen where you can choose to play the game again. So that was kind of a lot to unpack, I know. Your first question is probably, who created this game? Who created Lacey, thinking that this would be appropriate for the target audience of young women? Lacey is literally the main character of her story, but she has absolutely no control over it. To talk to the player and beg for help, beg for mercy that the player is unable to give her. That sounds like just a nightmare. And unfortunately, this feeling of being trapped and having no control over what's happening in your life, over your own safety, is the reality that a lot of women face nowadays. Stalking a lot of times just isn't taken seriously by law enforcement until it's too late. And so a lot of times I believe people in this situation feel trapped as well. And whether they know their life is in danger or not, there may be nothing they can do to stop it. Then the game just starts over, or pretend nothing happened. This is such a preventable thing, but so little is done to prevent it. As you can see, this first episode is very dark, and I will warn, this is actually one of the tamer episodes. It gets progressively dark. So if after this first episode you feel like you can't continue, that is completely understandable. And otherwise, if you're ready to go a little darker, the next episode features Episode 2 was uploaded November 1st of 2022, and it's called Disturbing Secret Ending Found in 2007 Flash Game, Lacey's Diner. As you can see, this episode is a little different. We have a uploader that has a little bit of commentary on this episode, talking about this episode and the ending they found and how you are not ready for it. And I will warn and agree, you are not.
Lacey is about to open her brand new diner. However, she will need your help to keep up with so many hungry customers. How to play. Add the correct items that Lacey requests into the main bowl. When you're done, it's time to serve the customers. However, don't take too long. You know how people get when they're hungry.
When you first start, you can see you have an incredibly generous timer for this to make the food and deliver it to the customers. However, the uploader decided to go ahead and see what happens when they let the timer run a little bit closer. Once you do everything correctly and pass the game, it says,
"You did it! Lacey's Diner is the best in the world."
and then the uploader says they're actually going to go ahead and run out of time. It says stupid, useless, slow, fuck, failure. There's also a knife on the corner of the screen with some subtle but obvious implications.
"You took too long, the customers left." "Oh no, you ran out of time and your customers went somewhere else to eat. But do not fret, there is always tomorrow."
We then see an outside shot of Lacey's diner with Lacey saying, "This is all I have. And the customers are hungry and unforgiving. If I fail, I see no other option other than killing myself." And this is what happens on the second day if you let the time run out. Failure, 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 failure. Figure 58. What growing up me in the river and pulled out my belly and pronounced my belly, pronouncing in and out while it was still twitching, for memories are no substitute. Part of the ingrained paranoia was owed directly to the fact that they used to teach kids such perverse, little bizarre lies that they passed off as the truth.
"You took too long, the customers left." "Oh no, you ran out of time
Why
and..."
can't these fucking bastards just wait 3 minutes for their fucking food? I am trying my hardest, yet I'm almost running out of money to survive. This isn't fair. It isn't fair at all. It isn't fair. I hate all of them. I hate them. I hate them. Tomorrow I'm going to give them something to eat, all right. They'll face what they did to me. We are starting on day 3, looking quite a bit different. Our ingredients are not pretty, and Lacey is not pretty either. The player starts to make the food using the ingredients. The first is cigarette butts, and when adding that in, we get a freeze frame that says, "These moments were hard to forget because they were super glued from my heels to my thighs, and not even the strongest bird's beak couldn't peck it off. The smoke tinted me in gray forever, and it tried to tear me up so much I almost cried in front of him once. Never again." The next ingredient is dead cockroach with a freeze frame that says, "First, they dominated the ceiling of my room, but then I started seeing them everywhere. Bugs and bites and dirt and ash and vomit where they shouldn't have been. They were all crunched but crisp and very jumpy, and I wanted to suck it all inside of me like a reverse frog dissection and end it all for one." The next wonderful ingredient is pornography. His face sucked by the static. The grains tickled Uncle's eyes with pleasure. He was the same as me, but didn't want to admit it. He tried to warlock of his hour he was desirable and sensual. His lies that he believed what the computer would whisper in his ear. So we don't like this so far. Next ingredient is meth. And we have a freeze frame that says Rocio. Remember that name. Our next ingredient is a used condom. And when he looked down into my little bruised eyes, smiling back at him, the exact size of his sweaty pelvis, even though they could be shaky, he was always the type to see the positive in things. And he couldn't keep the mayo from running all over it like a mad fever dream. What a relief and a wrongness was dissipated long before it got to his mind. And my tears and screams were inaudible to his ears. It was just bliss. We don't like that either. The next ingredient is broken glass. Tip for glass handling safety. Tip of your fingers into your blood vessels as it rips through the very core of your being. This one's kind of hard to get through. The last ingredient just says Uncle.
Good job! You have finished the plate on time for the customers. Now it's time to serve them their delicious Lacey meal.
And then we see a sign that says establishment closed due to sanitary violations. We see Lacey standing next to her diner that is closed now.
This is it then.
Of probably the most realistic image we've seen so far. It seems to be a girl sitting next to a, of course, mid-2000s Macintosh computer. And her arms with blood coming out. And then it starts back over at the very first screen where you can play again. And we then see the uploader asking for if anyone else has come across any of these games and how hard they are to find and how traumatizing these would have been for an actual young person to come across, or for anyone to come across for that matter.
And the last screen we see for the end of the video is the same live action girl, but now the image says, "I'm in heaven."
This episode was one of the harder ones for me to watch because I feel like failure is something that I have grappled with a lot in my life, and feeling like a failure and feeling like because I'm a failure, certain things needed to happen. And so this one was very triggering for me, I'll admit. And I completely understand the feeling where she's frustrated with the customers for not being patient, for not caring that she's human as well, and almost wanting to serve them what she's gone through in her life. Almost as if she's saying, if your life is so great that you can't wait just this short amount of time to eat, here's a taste of my life. I understand that feeling of wanting to do that. I had moments like that where it has crossed my mind that these people have no idea what I've been through, and how dare they treat other people that way when they don't know what they've been through. And I understand this video very well. This episode was the hardest for me in terms of relatability. And the next episode goes even more off the rails, and it is featuring Lacey's pet shop. The third episode wasn't uploaded until July 21st, 2023, and it's called Lacey's Pet Shop 2007 Flash Game. The video starts with Lacey having an MP3 player playing a song that she and her band did.
Okay. Before I start, can you please guarantee this stays between us?
And then it changes to another MP3 and has some photos of a girl named Grace Sopp, who helped create Lacey Games with her co-founder Rocio Yanni. You remember the name Rocio from the last episode with the duct tape. However, Grace is now claiming that she should not be affiliated with Lacey Games, and that she has nothing to do with Rocio or Lacey Games or anything like it, and was unaware of any issues with any of the games that were on LaceyGames.com until she herself went ahead and played Lacey's Pet Shop.
It was pissing me off, so I was like, fine, I'll take a damn look then. And then I found out that it might have actually been right. It didn't even feel like a Lacey's game. It might have been Lacey's Pet Shop?
Lacey has one of the most famous pet shops in town. People come from all over to buy their perfect little furry companion, and it will be your job to help her today. Instruction: listen to the client's animal demands. Then use the items on the bottom row to customize them and get them all ready for their new loving homes. Remember, the animals from Lacey's Pet Shop should always be perfect for their new owners. Good luck!
The game starts how you would expect it. You are cleaning and grooming pets, getting them ready for their new companions. And little by little, the companions start to be a little picky about their pets. They start demanding less and less healthy changes for their pet. Until we get to the last animal and the game completely glitches out. Uh-oh, you clicked the bad dog. You made a mistake. You made a mistake. 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 Nightmares are dangerous. I remember them again and again. Pull my hair and my nails off and pretend I was never real, and that happens through the night. Never did. And then we realized the game rebooted into a spooky
Point and click adventure.
where Lacey is saying, "Where am I?" The options are to click the arrow to go left or click the up arrow to enter the house. But it says that the cat is blocking the way. So Lacey tries speaking to it.
The cat reacts pretty much how you would expect a video game cat to react.
Hiss! I say hiss!
The cat says that it's having a really bad day and won't let Lacey pass, and that a bird flew by and stole the cat's skin, and the cat has been hurt, so the cat will hurt others, which sounds familiar in the series so far. So in true video game puzzle fashion, Lacey decides she needs to find the cat's skin for it in order to have the cat let us pass into the house. When Lacey goes to the left, you see a metal as hell looking crow holding a apparently skin looking bundle. She grabs the skin, and
When we hand it to the Skelecat,
it's just adorable now. The noises that are made whenever Lacey hands it the skin aren't disturbing or anything. It's just such an adorable cat, and it's going to let us pass and enter the house now. Yay! It says, "Sorry for being so moody. Meow bad." Lacey enters the house. They stare at me as I enter. The pictures on the wall. It pretty much matches the aesthetic of this entire point and click adventure we've stumbled upon. Lacey has the option to go left, right, or up the stairs. When Lacey tries to go upstairs, the door is locked. And when she goes left, there is a dining table with several pigs sitting and eating. I've always known what you are, from the moment you first touched me to when I found myself stepping over remains of your skin glued to the floor. You have no regards. I had none either. You squealed like a pig, just like a pig. This had been my childhood dream, the one you took from me. I collected all those bruises for years. My spine hurt as if a needle went through each segment. Once I got used to it, I didn't think about it anymore. But you made me think about it forever when you made that mistake. You made a mistake. You took my angel away. 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 You took my angel. When Lacey chooses to go to the right, you see a living room with a grandfather clock and a swinging pendulum. Going backwards, there's also a highly disturbing painting up on the wall as well as a cage to the left. And Lacey says she feels like crawling inside of it and asks the player to click on it. We then see Lacey holding onto her body and sitting in the cage. And she says,
"Yes, I know. No one forced me back inside. But this pain just hurts so comfortably." "Oh, I found a key in the middle of my edgy moment. Now it feels dumb."
when she uses the key on the door, it unlocks it. Uncle, have you seen Puddles anywhere? I can't find her. I checked everywhere. Stop laughing. Upstairs is about as inviting as downstairs was. The bathroom is about what you would expect in a scary game.
It's always filled with blood in horror games, but this is just lemonade. I've tasted it.
I adore the fact that even in this game, our character is still our bubbly Lacey that we've gotten to know the last couple episodes. I don't know if that's heartbreaking or a relief, but I do like that it's something that the creator stuck with throughout the series. Then Lacey says that she's not afraid of herself. Let's look just for a little bit at the mirror. It starts saying, "I'm Lacey," and then we start to see another live action looking girl who seems to be restrained in some way. In this part, it almost seems like Rocio is communicating with the player, saying, "I made games for you. I make lots of games. Do you like playing the games?" But it seems likely that Lacey and Rocio have a lot in common. Room 1 looks like it's likely Lacey's childhood bedroom, but under the bed you can see something's under there. I was thinking of getting a cat this time. Yes, a small, fluffy kitten. I really want a cat. We'll do all sorts of stuff together. Like getting ice cream. I could have some right now. I'm so hungry right now. It's been days. But I just can't leave. I can't. He's still under the bed. He'll look at me. I can't. But after all this is over, maybe I could also go shopping. I could go to a record store and buy CDs of my favorite songs. I will have so much fun. It will be so fun. I will listen to them all day long. My sweet little doggy. my little angel. I couldn't take it anymore. You can hurt me all you'd like, but you weren't allowed to take it away from me. I will let you rot. I can click here to end it all. Should I light myself on fire and wake up? Goodbye.
For years it was barking up the wrong tree. Worried about his sins becoming too visible on his skin. Yeah, I was worried about the serious things. But now, when his time is back, I was the dog that bit his neck.
Phew, it was just a nightmare.
I only then realized the other co-founder, Rocio, was hiding a lot of things from me. We went our separate ways in like 2010. I'm not even sure she's still alive, to be honest with you.
Grace's dismissiveness of Rocio is heartbreaking. She says she only then realized how much Rocio was likely hiding from her, and that she has no idea what happened to Rocio after they parted ways, or if she's even still alive. And then we see that final screen where it says, "Hello." I'm not sure what to make of it exactly. Perhaps that was Rocio. Perhaps it was just our uploader. Either way, it seems like the Lacey games were definitely an outlet for Rocio to process some of her trauma, and it really is heartbreaking that even now Grace doesn't seem concerned and doesn't want any part of it whatsoever, and is so separated from all of it and wants to wash her hands of it, as a lot of people want to do when trauma doesn't involve them and might be affecting them in any negative way. The part where Lacey is talking about how she would love to get a cat and eat ice cream and listen to some of her favorite songs is also heartbreaking, because it reminds me of moments when I've been in utter despair and just tried to think positively all the time, and my desperation to just think this situation can be better, hopefully someday. The next episode is featuring Lacey's makeup parlor.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wake up, it's time to play with Lacey, Maisie, and Scapegoat Jay. The game is here to stay. Our new adventure starts today. 'Cause when you surf on the internet, there's lots of fun to have, I bet. Bring a flash and you're all set for games you will never forget.
The last episode 4, was released April 19th of 2024. It is the longest video, and it is called The Disturbing Rabbit Hole of LaceyGames.com. The video starts with Lacey and the Jammers, meaning Lacey and her band, playing a song. We're able to see Grace talking to who can only be our uploader, Carly, explaining that the voice at the end of the video was actually Rocio screaming, and the sound was picked up from her doing so in the bathroom. Grace explains that Rocio always did the voice of Lacey, including her singing voice, and apparently it took a lot out of her. And so a lot of times she would go to the bathroom and she would be screaming and pulling her hair out in distress. When Grace is asked what was wrong with Rocio, Grace mentions that she never knew. And when asked why she never asked, Grace just said she always saw Rocio was a little bit cuckoo, and she always did cuckoo things, and that was normal for her. Grace has finally given our uploader access to the entire HTML of Lacey Games to be able to see and check out all of the games. We can see from the picture that it shows of LaceyGames.com that they have been entertaining girls since 2004, and these are free online games. You can see to the left there is an option to play, there is music, there's an About Us page, there's a shop, and there's even a fan space. And some of the games we have already seen, including Lacey's Pet Shop, Lacey's Wardrobe, and Lacey's Diner. Some that we haven't before are Lacey's Love Meter, Lacey's Horoscope, Jay's Skating Game, Macy's First Day of School, and Lacey's Makeup Parlor. On the About Us page, there's an image of Grace and Rocio, and underneath it, it says, "We are Rocio Yanni on the right and Grace Aesop on the left, together the founders of Yanni Aesop Games. As video game lovers, we wanted to create a safe space for kids to play. All of our games with the beloved Lacey and her friends." And then underneath that, you can meet the game. There's Macy. Stargirl Macy is smart and knows all about astrology and astronomy. She loves reading a good book and to teach her friends cool space facts, as well as their horoscope. Lacey is a fun-loving girl who loves a good adventure. She can be a bit of an airhead sometimes, but she's very determined and has lots of friends. She really likes fashion and to listen to all her favorite songs in her MP3 player. The last character shown is Jay. Skate Girl Jay is always down to go out with friends. She is cool and is always with some type of wheels. She also loves rock music and everyone calls her a tomboy. She likes that. So Grace and Charlie are discussing Macy and Jay, and Charlie talks about how she always really liked Jay while Grace always really liked Macy. And Grace tells Charlie that the character Jay kind of freaks her out nowadays. Back in 2009, Rocio killed off the Jay character, and not in the same way that she killed Lacey in more than one game, but in a permanent way, in a brutally permanent way.
Yeah.
Jay is the best at skating. Help her avoid any obstacles and stay on the platforms. How long can you skate for? Email your radical high score to your friends and challenge them too.
Let's go.
This is obviously a platform game where Jay is riding around on a skateboard and has to jump from building to building without running into any of the birds. And when she hits the green double arrows, it gives her a speed boost. That makes things a little bit harder, but definitely adds to the high score. Glitchier and glitchier until the very last level. After going to an unbelievable speed, it shows that
Jesus, that's so fucked up. Why did Rocio do these things to kids? Couldn't she just keep it to Newgrounds or something?
and why couldn't she have just kept it in Newgrounds, which was definitely a place something like this would have probably thrived. Then Grace mentions that after Rocio started getting mean messages about the website, that was when things started to change. Things were normal before this, but after that, Rocio started making more and more changes to the website.
Parents were contacting Rocio about how the J character was not girly enough to be a good role model for young women.
We see a reply from Lacey that simply reads, "Careful what you wish for." Jay was removed from every other game, essentially killed off as a character, but she started showing up in other games. Everyone loves feeling pretty, and Lacey is here to help with her super awesome makeup skills. Use your creativity and imagination to give the clients makeup looks to die for. When you're done, you can save or print your creation to share with your friends what you and Lacey did. The clients are lined up and waiting for you to make them beautiful. The first couple makeup jobs go about how you would think. It's very, very cute, very colorful. And by the third, partway through doing her makeup, something kind of happens with her face that's a little bit odd. But you do have the option to fix her.
Wow.
The next customer goes fairly normal until we start hearing odd, squishy, slithering noises, and there's something crawling on the customer. But we can fix her.
Wow.
With the next girl, everything is going well until her eyes open. And they are not looking good at all. But luckily, we can fix that as well.
Wow.
But the last girl, we recognize her. At this point, we see Lacey curled up in a fetal position. No, 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 no. I'm not here. She's not here. This isn't happening. No, 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 no. I look so ugly when I grieve. When I'm crying. No, no, no. She's just a client. She just needs makeup. She just needs her makeup done. And yes, she just needs her makeup done. Yes. 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 She's just needs to get her makeup done. Yes. Like me. I just need fixing. I just need makeup. Yes. 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 Let's go. And then we see Lacey fixing her own makeup that she had just cried off. Wow. You look so beautiful. In the middle of working on Jay's makeup, everything completely changes to reality. Where Lacey is actually in a morgue working on her friend Jay, fixing her. Silly Jay. Oh, silly Jay. Please collaborate. You just need to stand still so I can fix you. Maybe if you just use some makeup. Maybe if you were a little more feminine. You wouldn't have. This wouldn't. You just need some. We then go back to Charlie and Grace's conversation, where Grace mentions that Rocio started putting the deceased Jay in lots of different games. And when Charlie asked Grace why she didn't stop Rocio, she said there was no way to stop her. There was nothing that she could do. It was not her business, and she just left. While they're still discussing Rocio and Grace's relationship, to the left we have another window open. I want your face of putty and clay in my hands. Grace continues to discuss that she has no idea what happened to Rocio. She maybe ended up in a mental asylum, or she may not even be alive at this point. And Charlie wonders why she hasn't ever been at least a little bit curious what happened to Rocio when she vanished. Grace finally relents and says that they can look into maybe what happened to her friend Rocio. But before we get to find out where this search leads, everything goes staticky and we get to hear the goodbye song. And then the episode ends with some actual credits that we get to see, with an image of Lacey and Macy grieving and actually comforting each other in their grief, which is something that we obviously know Grace really never did for Rocio.
She stepped into the room at the edge of the universe and calmly walked towards the single button on the wall, which, as she had been told by the gods above, could delete the existence of anyone she disliked. She thought long and hard of all the ugliest souls she had ever known. She made her decision, and her finger met the button without any ceremony. But looking down at her feet, it was all red with blood. She stood in shock. The blood tainted her very being. She wanted to be clean and started theorizing that death's the only deletion that exists, and that there is no death without painful, unrelenting grief. And grief stared at her through mirrors forever, from the eyes of all she had ever thought to delete. It was a world catastrophe.
So, what we have here is basically Rocio doing something that would honestly feel right at home in the malicious compliance subreddit. And she gives the parents exactly what they want. She puts makeup on Jay. But the only way the parents were going to get what they wanted was for her to completely destroy the Jay character. And that is exactly what she did. Obviously, we can glean a little bit of Rocio's past from the Lacey character. These games were likely created as a way for Rocio to process her trauma. And just like on the Lacey's Diner episode, these games may have been all that Rocio had to help her move on. And when the parents were complaining about the things she put her heart and soul into, she lashed out exactly the same way Lacey does to the customers in the diner. And obviously, Grace's complete apathy to everything Rocio was going through and did go through is also highly disturbing. I also think it might be a little bit understandable, as most people who haven't experienced trauma in the way that Rocio likely has would rather just pretend it never happened in the first place, or would rather just look the other way. And that is all we have for official episodes of the Lacey Flash Games web series. If you enjoyed it, go show Ghost Tundra some love. And if you enjoyed my viewpoints, please
like, follow, subscribe. I have a Patreon. I have a Discord. I would love to continue to build my community. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I worked incredibly hard on this video, and this was something I thought was important to be covered. And with the demo being released on Steam, I wanted to make sure I got it out in time to be watched before playing the demo. I hope you go check the game out, and I hope you enjoy it. Drop a comment below to let me know what you think. And otherwise, I'm Lacey, and I'll be here for what scares you.
For years it was barking up the wrong tree. Worried about his sins becoming too visible on his skin. Yeah, I was worried about the